Hi, my name's Mike Ferguson. I want to talk to you about my new class on creating data products for analytics, which looks in particular at three new architectures on data mesh, data lakehouse, and data lake. Um, for most of my clients today, they're now dealing with a hybrid multi-cloud distributed data landscape. They have data on premises, they've got data in multiple different clouds, in software as a service applications, and even at the edge, coming off of IoT devices. So they have a distributed data landscape. And what they've built for analytics so far is primarily been centralized analytical systems, things like data warehouses, maybe a Hadoop systems for data science projects. Could be graph databases, for example, as well for graph analysis, or even data science happening on cloud storage, in the cloud. All of that potentially happening within a lot of my clients today. But the problem with these systems is they're siloed. So the people working in data warehousing are often different to the people who are working on data science in the cloud, who are different again from the people working on graph databases. And so each system is connecting to data sources and cleaning and integrating data again and again for every different analytical system. So the result is we got a problem. We got a lot of additional cost, unnecessary reinvention of data integration, and we run the risk of inconsistency across multiple analytical systems. Also, the people doing this tend to be centralized data engineers, whether they're data scientists or IT professionals, who are often not very close to the data sources or understand the intricacies of those data sources in a way in which, let's say, business users who use that data every day would have such a deeper understanding. So given that there's a lot of reinvention going on, there's a lot of new architectures emerging to find a way to resolve this problem so that you create data and make it available for analytics more rapidly to shorten the time to value. And I guess the three architectures that have emerged here are moving to a decentralized approach. First is data mesh, which has emerged quite recently. Looking at domain-oriented ownership, business domain-oriented ownership, and self-service data engineering, and to create a mesh of what's called data products, which are owned by business users within different business domains. Also, data lakes have been used that way to some extent, although primarily through data science in the past. And now we see those merging with data warehouses. So we see the emergence of something new called a lakehouse. Even Bill Inman has created a new book about that. Now, very clearly, most of this is happening on the cloud as cloud data warehouses merge with cloud storage, and so don't store data in a cloud data lake and in a data warehouse. They just store it once and use it for both data science and traditional data warehousing and business intelligence. So all of that's emerged, and I want to look at it in real detail with this new class. It examines, in fact, the strengths and weaknesses of data mesh and lake houses and data lakes. And it also looks at, can we find a way to use common software, so key technologies like data fabric software and data catalogs, in order to allow us to produce reusable data products once and reuse them in multiple different analytical workloads. And the objective of CLEAR is to shorten the time to value and create data that can be shared confidently and in a compliant way across your organization and maybe even beyond. So we're going to look at a whole number of areas. As I said, we're going to look at the class looks at the what data mesh and lake houses and data lakes are, and why you would use them and what their strengths and weaknesses are. We look at the different impacts on your organizational structure, particularly IT, of trying to implement a decentralized approach like data mesh. We look also at how lake houses work, how data mesh works, and introduces a federated operating model. So rather than go from centralized to completely decentralized, is there something in between, like a federated operating model, where we can create data producers and data consumers? And then we look at key technologies to support this, particularly Data Fabric, which is a new platform, if you like, to handle both data governance, data integration, and all of that. We're also looking at data catalogs in depth as well. And then we'll go into looking at methodologies for creating reusable data products, the importance of business glossaries to be able to understand the meaning of data in data products and how to set those up, and how to engage with the business in order to get their participation even in a decentralized operating model. We're going to look at how you can jumpstart a business glossary and how you can standardize development. So even though you've got different teams around the business producing data products, is there a way in which you can standardize things to take away frustration and avoid friction, if you like, because of differences appearing in lots of different places? So we're going to look at how you can standardize the development and operations in a data mesh and in a lake house and in a data lake. We're then going to look at how you build data ops pipelines to create multi-purpose data products. That means to create data products once and use them in multiple analytical workloads rather than reinvent that, and how you can automate things to speed that up, like continuous integration and continuous delivery in pipeline development, and how you can introduce a data sharing program in order to standardize the approach to sharing and do it in a compliant way in order to make data available to all that needed across your organization for analytical workloads. And then finally, we're going to look at how can you implement data governance in this manner. And so look at a federated data governance to produce and use compliant data products. Not much point trying to build data products and share them if doing so causes non-compliance. And we want to be able to look at a way how you can protect sensitive data in data products, how you can remain compliant with data privacy legislation, how you can facilitate sharing across borders in a global business and not breach compliance, and how to handle that. And all the technologies that are needed to support this, particularly around data fabric software and particularly around data catalogs and data virtualization. We look at data marketplaces as a way to be able to find a shop window to share data and rapidly shorten the time to value in order to get maximum value from your data in a data-driven enterprise. So please join me on this Creating Data Products for Analytics new class. It's going to be an exciting couple of days. Thanks a lot.